the best way to learn is to learn from people's life. But if you switch that the other way around, I feel like the most inspiring thing is that if you feel like this drink is the last drink you're gonna drink, how well are you gonna drink it? If you're doing anything right now, it should be 100.
Designer, high heel, she's a high horse rider. Posh girl from the hills tryna buy love. I like ya. I like ya. I'm in her ear telling her all the right stuff. Throw money like I'm selling up the white stuff.
My name is Bamidele Ilerioluwa from Nigeria, the creative director for Sylphh. Sylphh is a clothing brand that embodies freedom for young people, basically. And the big idea is to inspire people to stay hungry for more. It's basically for my friends, actually. Crazy nights with my friends, and we're just talking. And there are a couple of stories around how people do a lot of things and how they get tired and bored of doing such same things, or how people in our circle then made it in a way, and for some weird reasons they could not probably hang on to it. And the inspiration comes from how they had this drive that pushed them to the next level. But when they got to that next level, for some weird reasons, they stopped having those such drives. So for me, I believe that's a form of hunger. When you come from where I come from, or you've been to where I've been through, and you see what people there have to go through, and they've gone through it, then they got to a certain level, just stay there for a while. You would expect them to go all out for more. Staying hungry is basically an intentional act, because if you've been hungry before, which means like you go hungry, you don't have a choice in it. But if you're staying hungry, it means like you probably have an abundance at some point, but you decided to
keep going,
cut out for yourself, like prune yourself in a way, and just to be able to have that same hunger for the next level and for the next level and for the next level. Creating something that inspires some people like me, which is basically me, myself, not to ever settle. Even when you decide that you've made it to a point, that there's always more things to be done. Stay Hungry collection, the first design for Sylphh, which was Stay Hungry itself, not even the Stay Hungry for more. It was a Stay Hungry on a round neck. I could remember that. It was in Nigeria. Reception was not that good because of the translation of Stay Hungry to Yoruba. Right, which sounds more like a form of someone is hungry, in a way, like a cause. People come up to me and be like, I will not be hungry in Jesus' name. And I'm like, nah, that's not what it means. Like, it's not about you going hungry, it's about you staying hungry. But then I got some people on the street that like loved it. They got the concept at once. That was why that had to change from Stay Hungry to Stay Hungry for More. As a creative, that I think I am, I think when people see your works and then they value it and then they buy it, in a way, it's like a family for me. I've got like a whole side of the Sylphh brand that does something like Society by Sylphh, which is basically things that I found in my community, my friends, my families that I feel like inspires me. And I think the people that buy my clothes, about the designs that I make, they ignite that part of me as well. They encourage me to do more. So for me, they are actually like my own community. When they buy it, they just make me like know that what I'm doing is talking to a particular person. People are different, the culture here is different, and the designs that I make over here are different as well. It's also different when you're trying to compare the societal rules. The most interesting thing about Sylphh is it tries to, from Nigeria, which is where you can't necessarily be a banker and have full hair or have beards, because everything has to be in a certain way, structured way. And then you move to the UK, where everybody is more like free. I did a collection recently which was based off the cities in the UK. I did one for Birmingham, London, Manchester. If you start studying what makes those cities, and then you design something for them, you try to understand that those cities, even though they have their heritage, the people that have migrated to those cities have kind of influenced how people see them right now. These three are like variants of the same design, and the idea is to create something that is less of noise but more of quality. This is my first attempt to designing something that is very minimal. This is going to come in a set. I'm wearing one that looks like same material as this right now. As you can see, the Sylphh will be on the knee while you have a bed here. So together they go as one and have good quality of material that you can really bank on, which is way more important, especially if you're living in the UK. Signed by Kids Surviving Trauma, KST. The font was an handwriting from the girl herself. She wrote it down on a sheet of paper and then we turned it into a design. Then you put it on hoodies, around it. This one is the last of its kind. This is a collection that we did with Ainke Aladire. It was a collaborative collection. This is a tie and dye, but most importantly, it mimics the working man's jacket, but with a blend of hoodie, if that makes sense. So it's like retro. So if you can see, it has this material that looks like, I call it khaki. In Nigeria, we call it khaki. Yeah, to move by life inspired by death. Interpretation for me is, how we go through life every day and everybody try as much as possible to be humble. But in itself, I feel like life is a form of lessons that unravels before your eyes. For instance, the way I see the Bible is someone's life story. The best way to learn is to learn from people's life. But if you switch that the other way around, I feel like the most inspiring thing is death. If you think about every decision as your last one, it might make more sense to you to go a certain route than the other. You might build your confidence to a certain degree. If you feel like this drink is the last drink you're going to drink, how well are you going to drink it? If you're doing anything right now, it should be 100. And if you're inspired by death and you're doing that 100%, going all out, you should be humble, because what if you don't die right now and then you get to live beyond that? How are you going to approach that? So I feel like that contrast kind of balances life for me, and just be generally to like everybody. That's one. The second one that I love more is Death Can Wait, which is the second part of Kids Surviving Trauma. A friend of mine spoke to me about the influence of Sylphh in her life, and how towards the end of the year then she was contemplating committing suicide or whatnot. But because of the form of community that Sylphh has been able to build, or the influence of Sylphh in her life, she could, or she didn't do that. And then she told me that to her she feels like death can wait. And for me, when I heard that, I just thought to myself, like, when we talk about traumatic experiences, people feel like just because you've lived past it, it's gone. But in truth, it's not. People that come back from wars to hear like loud noises and still bring them back to that point in time, which is what they call the triggers, or whatever they want to call it. So personally, I feel like any kid, anybody that when they were young that went through a form of traumatic experience, they are still those kids. And making them realize that you're still that kid that is still surviving that particular trauma every day is kind of empowering to me. We are all kids that are surviving trauma. We've not survived it totally. It's a process. For me, I think the biggest one I survived was, and this is like the first time I'm saying this, and basically the origin of Sylphh itself. That would be the death of my elder sister, which is kind of big for me then, because I was then in the uni, and practically I was like the last person I saw in the family. So that was huge. Sylphh itself, Sylphh, without the second H, is her name, or like a nickname when she was in school or whatnot. So I took that, and because of what it signifies for me and what I feel like it signifies for her too, and what it actually means when you like have like a dictionary meaning of it, because it means three things. It means an heavenly being, it means a gracious woman, and also means the bird, the logo itself is a Sylphh bird, which is like an African bird that's like extinct now, long-tailed purple royal. So I feel like embodying that for me is a form of freedom, and for her as well, because she's gone. feel like that pays like a sense of homage to her. So that's a form of trauma that I'm surviving every day, because every day I put the word on the shirt, I feel like she lives on.